Because the Bradshaw Terrace Street upgrade was on my agenda and I overlooked it, so which I shouldn't have.
No problems. It was nice to listen to the gentleman speak. Well spoken. Right. Look, I'm here on behalf of Bradshaw Terrace residents. Bradshaw Terrace is effectively located about a block and a half away from Boys High, so good location. The issues that we as residents face is that Bradshaw Terrace has issues with wear and tear that are based on 60 years of minimal, if no maintenance, and some earthquake damage subsequently post-earthquake to our road surface, our curbing, our drainage, stormwater system over that time. Sorry, just to sort of digress a little bit, you've got a presentation there with some images as well. On the second page, there's some images there that really sort of do tell the story. The road surface has deteriorated more post-earthquake to the point that along both sides of the road, areas of approximately 1 to 1.5 metres from the curb out onto the road, this bitumen tar seal has eroded, leaving areas with effectively no road surface. The next page, in addition, in the middle of the road, we're seeing areas of cracking, large potholes, full of bitumen. If you look at the picture at the left of page 4, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. The curbing on both sides of the road is also in a similar state, with cracking all the way around the entirety of the street. The footpath is chipped, it is not level, it is full of holes, it is full of patches, it has cracks, and in some instances I can put my fingers down these cracks. Simply, it's not safe. If you look on the picture on page 4, on the right-hand side, you can sort of see the state of the curb. Next page, the 60-year-old stormwater system of clay piping is really adding unwanted issues and real problems and pressure to the residents of Bradshaw Terrace. It's an old clay pipe system, a recent pipe burst affecting the water system, so we were out without water. This is only probably 6 months or so ago, for effectively a day and a half, whereby when City Care came out to repair the issue, they informed us that the whole drainage water system is so fragile due to its condition as a result of age and earthquake damage that it is due to burst at any time and to expect ongoing issues. Subsequently, we also suffer from reoccurring flooding issues when it rains. Look, in summary, the stormwater drains do not drain. The gutters continually fill with water. They're full with mud and debris. In most cases, that debris is bitumen from the erosion from the road. And at times, some of the residents have had sewage running through their front door, their front yards. We have a very fragile road, curbing, drainage and water system, which is now rapidly deteriorating. The council may be aware of this, for a few years ago, Bradshaw Terrace was due to be upgraded, and the terminology used back in 2011 was to be beautified. But subsequently the earthquake struck and the project was cancelled. The residents were grateful when recently, with some continued pressure and acknowledgement of the issues, that we got what was called a chip seal laid on the surface of the road to effectively hold the road together temporarily. This has not worked. The very nature of the original problem is problematic. It's too problematic. Within 1 month, the chip seal was already cracking and breaking apart to the point that it's really back to the stage that it was before. Some of the other issues that we have is increased vehicle traffic with workers in the vicinity of Riccarton using Bradshaw Terrace as their long-term parking destination. On page 8, if you just turn the page, you'll see images of what has been the road with the chip seal on it, and some images of some of this continued deterioration. On page 9, you'll see some of the water which is accumulating in the drains. This is again subsequently post the chip seal being put on. Look, in summary, the new chip seal is not working. It's a short-term fix. The parking has been an issue for us for some time, but we're in the process of resolving that, and we may get some timed parking. Okay. What we do implore is that the City Council looks at Bradshaw Terrace as a priority for funding. And to look at basically readdressing the full infrastructure. Any questions?
Yeah, I was just highlighting to the Chief Executive the phrase "coming months" around time parking. I mean, we've become very aware of a particular process problem within the organisation, well, the Chief Executive has, which we're seeking to address so that these things do not take a long time to go through the system.
In that respect, we've been rallying around in the street and we've got great support and we've got signatures, so that's well and truly under process.
Yeah. Ali? David?
Have you taken this issue to, if anyone, before now?
Right, well, we've been to the Wigram Community Board. In December last year, we actually had councillors and community board representatives on site on Bradshaw Tce to show them. So we've had some support to date, but I guess the biggest issue goes back to funding.
And that's the feedback you've had, yeah?
Correct.
It is in the original
Yeah. David?
This is a problem that's pretty symptomatic right across the city. So, in my mind, I think we probably need to look at a prioritisation of road repairs across the city. So, would you be happy if that process took place, and maybe you might be up the list, but then again you might be down it a lot. There's probably 100 or more streets in the Pegasus
I totally understand. And
that are as bad, if not 10 times worse than what I'm seeing in your photos. But I think we probably need to look at a prioritisation process. Would you be happy of that happening in the city?
It's a bit of a catch-22 situation.
It is a very catch-22.
Personally, I'm not happy. Bearing in mind that I've also got to be quite sensitive to the fact that we're post-earthquake now and you're dealing with your issues in regards to funding. But pre-earthquake, the allocation had already taken place. The confirmation for Bradshaw Terrace, in light of the greater radius around our area where all the streets have been done, all the curbings had been made into modern current curbing and road services, we were left out. It was an admission that we had announced to us on site in December last year.
Barra Ave and Marine Parade were on a program for reconstruction. They're off it and nowhere near back on it again. So,
I guess back to my summary, I implore you to have a look at it.
But the pipes need to be fixed. I mean, if the pipes need to be fixed, you wouldn't want your street completely repaired and then have to dig into it again and do
Correct.
pipes. No,
Correct.
So I mean, it's got to be the whole shebang.
It's problematic.
Yeah.
It's got to start from somewhere and finish.
And
on
if you're still on clay pipes, then there probably are going to be problems. Yanni?
Just interested in the issue of how much damage the earthquake did, recognising that before the earthquake it was a problem, but has it been noticeably worsened because of the earthquake? And is it something that staff may have said or City Care that it is going to be something that's fixed through the earthquake repair process?
Good question. In terms of the road surface and the curbing, it's definitely sustained more damage post-earthquake. It's noticeable. You can see the cracking. I think I might let Clare, if we have enough time, just quickly to talk about the things that we don't see, which is what City Care raised with us just recently.
Greetings, people. We have presented several times to the Riccarton Wigram Community Board, and Vicky Buck and Jimmy Chen are both aware of our issues. Now, it's flat channeling that's really needed in our street. We've got a street like this, and the original drain was put in 1949. Now, that drain goes down through number 14 house, through what is now Caltex, out to Riccarton Road. That's the drain that is always blocking, and last year the City Council did 3 days on the main drain at 14 to clear it. Now, I have suggested to Vicky and Jimmy that we have an open drain that runs through 16, 18, 9 and 11 through to Harakiki Street. Now, we could put a fine grating over 14 and then put the majority of the water through the open drain out to Harakiki Street, and it would probably need widening and deepening. But the thing is, now every house that sells is subdivided into 2 or 3 two-storey townhouses. So therefore we're getting all that extra grey water and storm water, and of course we're getting more concrete and more bitumen. So that the problem is going to increase as long as we are using that 60-year-old main drain to take the water. And that's the one that blocks at the top, because the people who go to the Irish pub on Riccarton Road park at the top of our street and then come out at night, and their bottles and glasses and everything else are coming down blocking the 14 drain. So the suggestion we've made is that we flat channel and we bring the bulk of the water out to Harakiki Street.
You should be an engineer.
You should be.
No, but I mean, the thing is that, I mean, that's, you've obviously worked through these issues, and, you know, we are faced with a number of challenges in the city in terms of getting everything up to scratch, and it's going to be quite a while yet before we do. So, but thank you very much for making the submission. I know that it is in the Riccarton-Wigram Community Board submission that we prioritise this in the list of priorities that we are looking at. So they've certainly heard the concerns that have been raised. So
thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Andrew Lee.